Hi and welcome to this LinkedIn Masterclass brought to you by Learning Curve for beginners, job seekers and B2B salespeople. Today, we'll be taking you through the 6 key things that you'll need to do and master for success on LinkedIn. Those 6 things are a professional profile photo and banner, a catchy industry-specific headline, attention-grabbing about section, which some people call summary, a detailed experience section. We'll then move on to mastering personal brand and growing your network, and then posting and engaging with content. If you would like to keep engaging with our content, make sure you like this video and also hit that subscribe button. So first of all, a professional photo and banner. It's an absolute must. And I'm going to be taking you through some guidelines in a moment, but I just want to firstly share where your photo appears on LinkedIn. It will obviously appear on your LinkedIn profile page, but also in the LinkedIn feed, it will be on the left-hand side in your profile. But whenever you make a comment or start a post, it will also appear there as well. So it's really important that this is going to be the very first interaction that others have of you. So let's make sure we get that right. And when we get it right, it's the power of the pic. We know that studies have showed and revealed to us that if you do have a professional photo, or even just a photo, you're actually 14 times more likely to get profile views and 9 times more likely to receive connection requests. So if I go onto your LinkedIn and don't see you have a profile photo, I'm most likely not going to look any further at your portfolio or profile, and definitely not going to send you a connection request. So profile photo is an absolute must. So let me take you through some guidelines. First of all, we want a clear, recent, high quality photo. When I'm talking about recent, within the last 1 to 2 years, if you haven't changed dramatically. So please don't be posting or putting on a photo that you may look fantastic 5+ years ago. Keep it recent and keep it relevant. In terms of quality, make sure it is of high quality. And LinkedIn does like the 400 by 400 pixel versions. No heavy filters or editing. Keep it organic, keep it real. Then 2, make sure you have a professional or business casual attire. Make sure you're dressing appropriate for whichever industry you're in, not too casual like you're going out for a pint of milk or down the pub. 3, a friendly, approachable facial expression. It sounds really, really silly, but please don't be be one of the people that are doing a not smiling photo or crossing their arms looking really, really serious. Even though I'm not opposed to those photos, it's just really not me. And to be honest, a smile paints many, many pictures of people. So get that smile on, get that friendly, approachable photo up by making sure it's professional. Then you want to make sure you've got a plain or neutral background with proper lighting. So something that's not too busy, like when you're out at a restaurant or out with your friends in a pub or in a nightclub. And make sure you've got that proper lighting as well. So maybe get your phone and take a photo of yourself with maybe a light behind you, and do exactly the same with the light in front of you, and you'll see a dramatic increase in the quality of your photo. And lastly, just make sure it's cropped appropriately. Normally about 60% of your frame is your head and shoulders. So it's a good benchmark of how to take your photo, which you can easily do on a very good smartphone. Once you've got your profile picture sorted, the next is your banner, or I like to call your brand billboard. You can put anything you want here, and I'd suggest changing it every once in a while just to keep it up to date. You can add in pictures of you in action, like me there in the top hand corner taking a public speak and a keynote speak. Or when you join a business, or if you are employed, your company may have a company one that they likely offer you that's on brand with their company. LinkedIn do offer some standard banner options, but if you wanted to create one yourself, you can do that easily by using Canva. It's a free tool and it's fully customizable, and you have your choice of thousands of designs. So I definitely recommend creating a free Canva account, as you'll also be using that account to create content, which we'll cover a little bit later in the video. Next, a catchy industry-specific headline. Your headline appears everywhere that your photo does, so it's probably the second most important thing you need to optimize when it comes to your profile. So let's go through some essential guidelines that I've got for these headlines. Firstly, make sure it's concise, compelling, and accurate. When I mean concise, it's not super long, but it's compelling enough that someone wants to continue to view your profile. Use relevant keywords and phrases that are linked to your industry or what you're looking for. Now, if you don't know what these keywords or phrases are, you can always use AI tools such as Copilot or ChatGPT and then translate them into your bio. Make sure it's tailored to your unique skills. So what do you bring to the table and how are they linked to your industry? You can add a value proposition or achievement, something that's noteworthy that you want to share. Never use the default headline from LinkedIn. It's very outdated. It doesn't really add to that compelling mark that we said earlier. And lastly, never use actively seeking. Okay, if you want to publicly talk about actively seeking, we're going to use frames, which we're going to talk about later on in the video. But let's show you 3 methods that I recommend that will help you create this headline. Method 1, and it is the easiest. First of all, you just want to put your desired position title or the title you're currently in if you're in a job, and then your industry specific hard skills. To give you an example of how this is put, I've got 2 examples here. First one is a graphic designer, so a senior graphic designer. And then you list off the hard skills, which is specializing in logo design, web design, brand strategy, and visual communications. Changing to a different sector in, say, marketing and PR is director of public relations and marketing. And the hard skills would be campaign management, email marketing, SCR, and CRO. Moving on to method number 2. It's the similar template, but with the addition of your value proposition. So what do you bring to the table? And actually, it's one of the most popular right now used on LinkedIn, but can be a bit tricky if you do not know what your value prop is. So let's show you some examples of how this works right now. So here we have some examples of this method too. So what we've done, the slight change, is that we are changing this hard skill slightly, taking some of them out because we can't name them all, and we want to add some of that into the value add. So to take the examples from number 1 into number 2, it would be, going back to the graphic designer and PR and marketing, is the senior graphic designer. We would just encompass 2 of the hard skills, so web design and brand strategy. And then your value proposition would be creating visual stories that captivate and inspire. Moving on to the other example, which was the PR and marketing, is the director of PR and marketing. Keep that exactly the same as the last example, but you would only include those 2. So campaign management and email marketing. And then the value prop would be streamlining operations for effective project delivery. And then moving on to method number 3, the last one. So instead of the value prop, you want to change that for a results-driven achievement statement or stats. So let's show you some examples of how we would tailor those 2 right now. So moving on to some examples of this headline would be exactly the same as before. So the senior graphic designer and those 2 hard skills. But the results-driven proof and stats would be a catalyst for 20% boost in client transactions with 200 plus successful projects. And with the PR and marketing, that results-driven caption at the end would be developed comprehensive PR strategy resulting in a 30% increase in media coverage. Those results show competency, it shows proof, and the stats add a little hook on the end. So, moving on to key point number 3 in today's video, an attention grabbing about section, or some people call summary. Here are some essential guidelines for this about section. Make sure it's easy to read, snapshot with some keywords. 2 to 3 paragraphs probably to include in here. Then start putting some career highlights within that section. An expertise section. Include a call to action. And in this section, to make it easier to read, I would always use headers and bullet points. Show your character and personality wherever you possibly can. Let me show you a template that you can use for this right now. So you'll see here, it's at the top, I've got an easy to read snapshot. I help companies with pain points and challenges across their hiring, training and development projects. No sales pitches, no pressure and no hidden catches. It's snapshot, it's easy to read and it says exactly what I do. Some career highlights, so you can list some bullet points of what you've done in your career, both professionally and personally. Then look at your expertise. So what are you going to add some value? How can I help? And then I've added a bit of personality and character there by saying I can answer any questions on parenting bulldogs. So we're now rocking and rolling. Let's go into your detailing your experience section. Here's the guidelines for that. Make sure that this is more personable and relatable than your CV. Your LinkedIn will be effectively a second version of your CV, which probably employers will look at before they even request your CV. Make sure that you have a brief paragraph on your position. Bullet point your duties. Add in, if you can, some results-driven achievements and stats. Any metrics and data that you can demonstrate, or any media that you want to include. But also you'll start to see at the bottom of this, you can actually add in some career highlight skills that are attached to that day job, which we'll show you very shortly. Here's a template that you can use. So you can use a catchy job title. I've just used my own job title there, but you can actually tailor it a little bit to what you want to say. A short paragraph in what you do in your job. I've bulletproofed, or I've put it in as dashes and not bulletproof, some kind of duties, achievements and stats. You can actually add in, which is really good, some media, documents, videos or links here. So I've got a video and a document about our value proposition here at Learning Curve. And then at the bottom of each of your experience placements and your work, you can add in skills linked to that job role. Now, if you're watching this video and you're not employed and you haven't had any employment history, then you can add in work experience here, or work experience you've got within your school or college. It might be a club that you belong to as well. You can add that all in there as well. It all counts as experience. It doesn't need to be the word work. So now let's start moving on to maximizing your personal brand and growing your network. But why is it important to maximize your personal brand? Personal brand is vital. It's a modern method of business development and also candidate attraction for you being attracted to employers. But also if you are someone who's on LinkedIn and you're a hiring manager, people want to be attracted to you as much as you're going to be attracted to them. By setting up your profile professionally, it will allow people to find you easily on the LinkedIn search. So you will be able to come up in Google searches and it will take you straight through to your LinkedIn page, which is really, really easy when it comes to SEO. When you do have this uploaded, and hopefully you're using this today, make sure that you're encouraged to keep it up to date and post frequently on the channel to be seen as active. Otherwise, you might be seen as a dormant account. So, why LinkedIn is such a good business tool? So first of all, LinkedIn is like an online CV. It's going to be another version of your personal brand and who you are on this platform. You'll also be able to send personalized connection requests for those you want to speak to, either about new job opportunities or current offerings that you're selling if you're already in a day job, maybe in B2B sales. Two other powerful tools that you have at your fingertips through LinkedIn are two frames. Now, they are the hashtag open to work frame, which you will use clearly when you are open to work, and it will alert LinkedIn and a lot of recruiters that you're open to work. If you don't want to put that on, you can actually put open to work and then only notify recruiters, because you may be looking for a role and you don't want to tell your current employer. But the other thing is the hiring. Now, it's for two things. One, if you're a line manager and you want to attract really good people and you've got a great profile yourself, you can organically grow that traffic as opposed to them clicking through job ads. But equally, if you are someone that is looking for a job, it's also nice to look out for that purple hashtag hiring banner and frame, because those are people that you may want to connect and send personal connections to about job opportunities. So sending those connection requests allows you to start growing your network. And here is how you can grow your network, why you should grow your network, and also how you engage with that. So building your connections with relevant, and the key word is there, relevant people, will help you get your name out there. You're going to get noticed. And connect with those in industries that you're interested in, whether that is interested in because you want to get a job in that industry, or whether you are in a B2B sales role and you want to reach out to people in that industry because your offering is something that they would want to purchase or they need to purchase. There's power behind engaging with your network. So engaging with others drives engagement for you. People are going to start seeing your comments. So if you're going to engage in someone's post and write a comment, make sure you write something meaningful. So actually people start viewing your profile because you sound like an industry professional or a specific person within that sector that's a knowledgeable person in that topic. When you start doing that, a strong network will get to know you, but also what you're looking for or what you're selling. But how many connections do you normally have to have? Well, an average network is around about 1,000 people. What I would say, if you want to kind of utilize some time in the morning on your network, I would look at sending around about 20 network connections requests a day, which is around about 100 a week if you're working kind of Monday to Friday. That is 100 a week, which equate to around about 5,200 a year, which before you know it, your network will get to a size and stature. When you get to over 500 connections, that's really good, because if you had 392, it would say 392 of connections. As soon as you get to 500 plus, it will say 500 plus, and it will make you more credible on the platform. But taking that credibility even further, you're going to now start talking. I'm going to take you through point 6, which is posting content and then engaging with other people's content. So, how to get started with posting content and ideas. When to post. I recommend personally a minimum of 2 to 3 times per week. However, only a maximum of once per day. You don't want to be sending those 2 to 3 posts in the same day, because two things happen. You then start competing against your own content, and you also start spamming your network, and then you could lose credibility. For starters, don't worry about the time that you post. Some people can look at the science behind it, but right now, because you want to get started, focus about what you share, not when. Make sure it's educational, it's engaging, it's fun. But why is this content important? It shows that you're active. It shows that you're engaged. It keeps LinkedIn active, and and in the background, the algorithms will show that you are an active person on this site. It could generate opportunities for you. That's both job opportunities, but also business opportunities if you're within sales. But the one thing about content, it increases and improves your reply rates to those messages. But you're still probably thinking, well, what content should I post? So now let's show you some examples. So here we are. Here are some examples of the content that I personally use on a frequent basis. First of all, recent updates. You could share 5 to 6 top industry tips, a story of a challenge you've overcome, or a key lesson you've learnt recently. You could share quotes. It could be an industry statistic. It could be a motivational quote like Nelson Mandela one there in the middle. Or it could be a quote from a book you've read, or one from a thought leader. Photos is always a real powerful one because it's visual in people's feeds. Take photos of when you've been at events or work experience. Take a screenshot of today's trading and share that online to show that you are being green and growing and extending your LinkedIn knowledge. Take a photo of your home working space, or what I've got there in the bottom middle is a starter pack. When I joined LCG, there's some real good brand goodies. It's fantastic to share online. People like to see that. In the other corner there, we've got polls. Now, this is a great way to create debate. It's an engaging way to find out information. And also you can encourage people to comment with their thoughts in the feed below. And then lastly, one of the things that I love, it's my favorite bit of content, is video. Now, not everyone is confident at this, but I recommend just posting it. It shows that you're real. It shows you're organic. It's not AI generated, and people get to know you. Record yourself speaking about a post. If you've got a written post, use that as the script and put it into a teleprompter. It will beat any static post out there. Record yourself while you're out on a walk, sharing a personal message or something you've learned. Share updates, professional or personal. And if you can, add subtitles, as some people that may be scrolling through this, may be on public transport and won't have their headphones in, so they can watch your video whilst reading the subtitles. But most of all, have fun with this side. This content definitely stops those scrollers of the LinkedIn world. And there we have it. Those are the 6 key things that I would recommend you do on LinkedIn to be successful in 2026. If you're still with me and you really like this content and like this video, please do hit the like button and also hit that subscribe button. And we look to see you on future tutorials from Learning Curve.